Ladies and gents, welcome back, boys and girls. Ladies and gents, it is Monday, November the 28th, 2020. Oh yeah, oh shit, we're gonna have some fun today. Hope everybody's doing well wherever you are. It's another Glad You Made It episode. It's another So production, and we are approaching the end of the month. A new chapter is about to begin, and then the new year is going to be right around the corner as well. Wherever you are, sip to the gang, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're out there in BC and West Coast, whether you're down south in the US, Mexico, South America, East, I'm talking in Africa, Europe, Middle East, Asia, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea as per usual, New Zealand, Japan, Australia, Indonesia, all the gang doing it together. Welcome back. It's an exciting day to be alive and kicking. Let's get a sip of this first. Oh my. Hits the spot every time. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've been a long time viewer and listener to the show, thank you very much. I love you. Sending all the positive thoughts, energy, and support right back at you. You know who you are out there. If you're just joining us today, buckle up, buckle down, subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram if you like, and check out patreon.com/RobSadri. Do yourself a favor. We're cooking, baby, and we're snowballing one day at a time, one baby step at a time together if we can, if we may. What have I been up to? Boys and girls, ladies and gents, what have you guys been up to? I wonder what we're all doing. Everybody's assuming attending to their business, attending to their little garden, attending to their lives, which is beautiful. I love when I see people working on their path, on their journey, whatever it may be, whether you're in school, whether you're working out there, whatever it is that you're doing, learning, growing, it's all fun. Enjoy the ride and try to laugh along the way if you can, at yourself, at each other, at your boy right here. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, hells yeah. We do it silly, we do it loose, and we just have some fun around here, man. What do I want to talk to you guys about today? Many of things. Been thinking about many of things that have been preoccupying my mind, that have been, just brewing up there, formulating little by little, seeing a little bit of this, seeing a little bit of that, reading a little bit of this, learning, trying to ask questions, trying to come up with jokes here and there. But first and foremost, before we get into it, I want to start a little bit light today, and then we'll gradually go a little bit, in a different direction. But for the first portion of this podcast, this episode, I do want to thank the Canadian national soccer team, the boys, the men. We went out there, we gave it a good old effort. We got one more game left. We are officially out of the World Cup. That's okay, that's all right. I just want to say, boys, men's, proud of you. We all are. Thank you for repping Canada out there. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to leave your lover behind and go out there in the middle of the desert and compete at the highest level. It's not easy to step out of your comfort zone, to say goodbye to your Tim Hortons, to your double doubles, to your BLTs, to your Timbits. It's not easy, but our boys, our men did it. It's not easy to leave behind your moose. It's not easy when you look at him in the eye and you're like, oh man, I want to miss you, buddy. It's not easy to leave your beaver tail behind either. All you're thinking about out there is like, man, I love my beaver tail. Can't wait till it's chopping down these trees, buying on some wood, if you know what I mean, if you know what I'm alluding to here. But it's not easy. But we did it. And we went out there and we gave it a good old effort. We still got one more game to leave it all out there and just show them what we're made of, boys, men. But I appreciate what you guys do, and it's I love the sport, seeing thus far. And this is not anything to do with, I believe our team's got a lot. I believe a lot of potential talent is out there, and this is just the beginning for Team Canada. All right? I'm talking to both men's and women's divisions as well. This is not just boys and girls. This is all about us. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's our second World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. We've been, the last one we were in was 32, 36 years ago, over 30 years ago, let's say, to play it safe. So it's taken us some time, and these are the stepping stones. These are the foundations that we will build upon and go out there. Next time we'll get to the round of 16. Time after that we'll get to the quarterfinals. Time after that semifinals. Time after that finals. Time after that maybe we'll win the final. That's what I'm talking about. These things take time. So I don't think it's a lack of skill. I don't think it's a lack of anything. More so, I do think if it's a lack of anything, it's probably a lack of a little bit of experience on that particular level. Being under that sort of pressure, under that sort of magnitude of, oh, you have to perform, and it's a lot riding on your shoulders. And yeah, I'm very proud of our boys, and this is just the beginning. Same for our ladies. This is just the beginning. We're going to go out there and shoot some balls and score some goals. And I'll tell you something else right here too, fam. To all the other teams out there, if this were a different scenario, if this were, if these boys, if our men's, if you came up here and if you traded in the soccer pitch for a hockey rink, things would have been definitely different. If you traded in those cleats for hockey sticks, things would have been differently. If you traded in your shin pads for some shoulder pads instead, and then maybe a helmet as well, things would have been different. If our boys had access to blades on their feet like they're used to instead of cleats, this would have been different. If our boys had access to a puck and not a soccer ball, this would have been different too, eh? So you check yourself before you go wreck yourself messing around with the Great White North up here. All right? So under different circumstances, we would have been, oh, who's the top dog now? But all of a sudden, it's a different climate, it's a different sport, and it takes that's what it is. It's all good. I'm not gonna, whatevs. It's whatevs. I don't even care, dude. I'm not even like whatever. I didn't even want the cup for us. I did. I badly wanted the cup, and this is, gang. I know we didn't win the game, but while every other team's out there trying to like slug it out, low key, you stay behind, do a little heist, bring back the trophy. You know what I'm talking about? Low key, I said it, but I didn't say it. But I did, didn't I? And yeah, should the World Cup, disappear and appear in Canada somehow, I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I wonder who the first suspects are. You're not on the radar at all. So just saying, if that's something, all right, fine, don't do it, whatever. Don't do it, but do it. But don't do it. Don't listen to me. That cup belongs to the winner, the rightful winner, partial owner. Many have owned the cup. The loose cup that keeps on going around every 4 years. You feel me? Do we even want it that bad? Not really. It's been around way too many times. All right, fine. We want it. Bring it back. Bring it back, boys. But the point is, if it's not, what it is that there's still plenty other teams out there, and I've said this prior to the World Cup beginning. Now I'm gonna have to. That's what it is. I'm gonna be rooting for Team USA because we're like basically conjoined twins, and it's like what it is. So let's go. All the eggs move from basket Canada to basket of America, right there. Team USA. Let's go get it, boys, men. Let's do this, and then the rest of y'all can just, it's ours. It was ours. Oh man. And here's the thing, Croatia. If you're out there puffing out your chest there, thinking you're all that. Okay, fine, you are. 4-1. We'll give it to you. 4-1, huh? You have to really rub it in there. You know what? We will not. We're not the type that'll forgive, but we will forget. No, we won't forget. We do smoke a lot of weed up here, so we will forget. We'll forget. Will we forgive? The weed also does give us perspective on overall, meaning of life, what it's all about and everything. So yes, we will forgive this one time as well, and perhaps other, but we won't, we'll give it, it's still a fresh wound is what I'm trying to do. Give us a couple of days, we'll forgive and forget. But the next time we meet, it's going to be different. It's going to be different, Croatia. But don't you worry out there. This is not going to impact our relations as nations. You know what I'm talking about? Canada, Croatia are going to be tight forever. And this is not going to impact our business relations whatsoever. Did I personally reach out and try to get your country overall sanctioned so that you can't do business from anywhere in the world? Maybe immediately. But then I called it back. I'm like, you know what, that's, I had a chit chat with myself, and I'm like, you know what, let's not let sports impact like business and the bottom dollar or the top dollar, just dollars in general. So what goes around comes around. And yeah, again, give us a little bit of time. We're not the type that'll hold a grudge, but it's been noted down. It's been noted 4-1, huh? You think you're slick? All right. All right, we'll run it back then. In some time. Congratulations. You won fair and square. No hard feelings. At all. I mean that. Really, Croatia. Well played. Well played. So yeah, Team USA, let's go. Let's do this. Let's bring it. Let's bring the cup to North America where it belongs, in the land of cups, and in the land of dreams, and cups. It's all dreams and cups up in this bitch, boys and girls. But that's just that's just sports, and I love it because it brings it brings people together. Yeah, yes, there's other stuff that bring people together as well. There's other aspects of it as well that we've discussed previously. I'm not gonna dwell on past things, i.e. questionable labor practices. You just hope that with all the money everybody you'd give proper compensation for the work done or what have you. Do it better. We can all do a little bit better, can't we? And yeah, I guess man, that's what it is. Enjoying the sport for what it is. The sport is what the sport is. What the sport is what it is that it's a sport. It's a beautiful sport. I love it. So what it is that let's see where it goes. There are plenty of more games to go, and yeah, Canada's got one more too. And yeah, boys, let's fucking show them how it's done. Now that there is now we ain't got nothing to lose, fam. Now we can go out there on the pitch and be wild and crazy. I want to see backflips. I want to see front flips. I want to see sliding tackles. I want to see flying tackles. I want to see high knees. I want to see low knees. I want to see no knees. A lot of, on your toes, off your toes. Where does toes go? I don't even see it. Who's got your toe? I got your toe, fam. It's right here. Wiggle, wiggle. I ain't actually got your toe, fam. You can have it back. It's not your toe, man. It's my thumb. I know. Fast movement of hands. You're like, did he just grab my toe? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I didn't. Rest assured, I didn't. But, things happen, man. Things happen and we learn from it and we grow. Again, love you guys. Thank you for everything. This is, again, a stepping stone to the next stone, to the next step, and so on and so forth. We will get better and get better and better and better until there's no one better than us. Moving forward. Sip to the gang. What else is going on that's been interesting, I guess, around the world? Really, it's I saw it, I guess, on the weekend. I think things are, I don't know to what extent, if you got to be there personally anywhere for you to really know what's going on with whatever it's going on. But apparently there was a huge, a lot of protests, a lot of disruptions in China. A lot of disruptions in China. A lot of people are protesting. I believe the extreme lockdowns due to zero COVID or whatever they're running down there. Apparently it's been really tight. They've tried to nobody go here, nobody go there, really restricted with everything. And I think people eventually have had it enough of that, because I saw a bunch of videos that were just people are enough of this nonsense. They're just pushing down barricades, they're pushing down barriers. Unfortunately, there's clashes between the public and the, I guess, security forces, whether they be police there or military, I don't even know, but essentially fighting off government officials to just get back their basic freedoms. And to be honest, that's what it is, man. My heart goes out to the Chinese people out there, anywhere else in the world for that matter, for whatever reason or circumstances you happen to find yourself under any sort of repression. My heart goes out, and I hope I think they're calling for the president to step down. Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping, Xi Ling, Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping, Xi. You know what his name is. Xi Jinping, Xi Ping Ling Ming Xi Z Chi X I Chi Jing Chi. They want him to step down. All right, Xi. the president. They want the president to step down. That's what it is. That's what I read. That's what I saw. And he's really like, bout it in terms of being bout it with, you know, like, oh man, like a dictatorship sort of deal, but like with a twist of pseudo communism slash capitalist sitch that they've got going down there. And yeah, it's a whole thing, man. They're like, I've seen videos of people popping off with like they're going to certain places, they gotta like get doing their like biomatrix shit where you gotta like physically scan your face, and like they're doing all these like social credit stuff. I think people have like and I've been previously reading articles about what's kind of going down in China. Again, I've got a very vague idea because I'm not there obviously, but I have read that there is a trend amongst the youth that they've just like given everything. I guess there's economical situations are not easy globally for a lot of people. I think that's one of the biggest factors. Also, I think what I read was the sentiment of the youth kind of, again, this is just my interpretation, and again, based on what I read, is sentiment of kind of like giving up essentially, because there's no sense of like, the individual doesn't matter there. It's all about the quote unquote community, and the person can get lost in that, and all of a sudden it just becomes not even a community. It's just a selected group of individuals who take advantage of the quote unquote communal aspect of living, or again, this is just from an outsider's perspective, I don't know, but I do feel like overall my whole thing, my observation globally, and from living experiences a little bit as well, I just don't feel like people like when they're told what to do, especially when it comes to where they can go, how they can act, what they can eat, what they can, not eat, what they can consume, what they can not consume. When can they open up their businesses? When can they close down their business? People just in general want to be left alone for the most part. Like generally speaking, most people want to be left alone, and most people just want to have like good vibes only sort of thing, and to each their own. You do you, boo-boo, I do me, right here, and we all respect and love each other. So people overall, generally speaking, the consensus from what I'm gathering, and people aren't into being told what to do. And I think in China, there's a whole lot of telling people what to do sort of thing. So I wish the Chinese population the best of luck in their, in their future. And I that goes for all of us. I wish all of us the best of luck in all our present times and future times, I hope. But it gives me hope because I see the youth everywhere, kind of globally, wherever there seems to be a lot of, again, repression or, just a lot of control and dominance. They are uprising, and it's brave to see people have to, and I see that, and I admire it. I find myself to have to, again, be very appreciative of what I've got. It makes me be extra grateful because I'm like, man, I'm very lucky. A lot of us are, at least if you're in, Western society, that it's a really good spot to be in. So I find myself very appreciative and grateful for the simplest things, because I know legit there are people, again, like there's China, there's places in the Middle East, there's North Korea and stuff, and whatever. Sometimes it's just a roll of the dice on that, and that roll of the dice you had nothing to do with it. So it's like somebody rolled the dice prior for you, and then you're like, oh, you get up and you're like in North Korea, or again someplace in the Middle East or China or whatever. And there have been other places like that in the past and in history, and that doesn't really, it doesn't, these places, those sort of mentalities, those sort of dictatorships, if you will, don't really last. They don't stand the test of time. People eventually get fed up in one shape or form, and it crumbles. So I've got a lot of hope for us. I'm very optimistic to see, people just, relying on each other instead of, I think one thing amongst many things that we learned during the pandemic, coming out of it, moving forward, I think it's, we should rely on each other as individuals and ourselves rather than, I think we've learned that governments or corporations or international entities are never going to be there to come and quote unquote save you. It's always going to be me, you, taking care of ourselves and each other. I think that's one of the biggest things we've all hopefully taken away from. I'm trying to take that away and be like, okay, I really need to learn to even be more, as much as I can, be a little bit more self-sufficient, get stronger so that I can be of assistance to myself and hopefully the individuals in my circle, and that hopefully will have some sort of a ripple effect and so on and so forth. And I think that's the best way to build our lives, together, individually, but collectively as well, if that makes any sense. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see how things unfold. There have been, I think, a lot of interruptions in terms of, I think Foxconn had a lot of people striking at their iPhone manufacturing facilities. Again, that's in China. And again, these are all things that are, it's over there, but it feels a lot closer these days with access to technology. And although it's, thousands of miles away from me, again, it makes me, I hope that we can all achieve some sort of a, get a little bit better in terms of doing that. And I think we are. It just takes time and nothing happens overnight. I think overall we're on the right trajectory is what I'm trying to say, What else has been going on, man? But that is, man, to see all these people like that. China's got a lot of people, and to see all those many people on the streets just like no fucks given anywhere. Like, oh, you put a barricade there, just walk right over it, dude. And yeah, they're telling Xi Jinping, yes, I think that's it. Xi Jinping, right? Right. I think they wanted to step down because he's been in there for, that's what it is, man. Anytime anybody stays in power for way too long, you should just like, dude, that's, it's the old saying, absolutely corrupted by absolute power, or something along those lines. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Absolute corruption leads to absolute, power with, it's not a good thing. It's way too much power, essentially, for one man or woman. Absolute power is absolutely gonna make you susceptible to corruption and whatnot. That's a thing. That's a saying. They used to say that. I think we still do say it. I just said it. Other people have said it too. I think that's a famous quote, if I'm not mistaken, from Spider-Man, but I don't know if he got it from was that something that he got from, so it doesn't matter who got it first, is that we've got it now together. We got to deal with things, and we're doing it, baby. We're doing it one step at a time. What else has been going on? I got introduced to this one's wild. I got introduced to a documentary that I saw over the weekend on the Saturdays. A little bit of documentary watching on the weekend, baby. That's what we do. And man, oh man, I had some, like many of you guys, like coming out of this, again, dealing with Schmovid breakout, going through the schmandic, the pandemic, the whatever, and then, easing out of it and getting back to a new normal or what have you. Still a lot of questions remain in the back of our minds. I know everybody's busy out there doing whatever it is, you're living your lives. I'm living my life as well. And a lot of things, you might hear a story, you might see a little bit of it, and you might not, see much more discussions around it or talks about it. So you just might, dismiss it as to whatever, it's whatever. What I'm trying to get to is that, in the past little while, I've seen videos every now and again, not too many, but that's the thing too, and we'll get to that aspect of it as well. I've seen videos of people, saw maybe a couple of news reporters, a couple of people online doing their thing, and then in the middle of doing their thing, they're talking or they're standing or what, and then they just happen to collapse. All of a sudden, young people collapsing on, whether it's on their job or whatever, and it was one of those things like, okay, well, people, I didn't make too much of it. I didn't even, but there was, I guess, a little bit of a questioning, or a little bit of a formulation, or a little bit of the beginnings of an inquiry, if you may. It's just like, well, why? Well, people collapse, sure, absolutely. But then I'm like, okay, does this happen? I didn't follow too much with it, and I just like, whatever, it is what it is. Didn't follow up, didn't look into it as much. But then I got introduced to a new documentary recently, and it's I believe it's called Died Suddenly, or Suddenly Died. Died Suddenly or something. Let me just quickly look it up. Give me a quick second, bear with me a few seconds here. Died suddenly, that's right, is the name of the documentary, and man, it is wild. Boys and girls, it is, whoa, dude, it is wild, and I don't know what to make of it. It's, I'll tell you what, man, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's definitely, it's got a lot of images, got a lot of data, and it's a documentary. Yeah, it's not perfect. Nothing is. I'm not saying that this is, and I don't know what to think of it. It got me just like, oh man, someone should look into this, and someone should probably ask a little bit, more questions, essentially, just to get a little bit more clarity on the matter. And we're past the point of, I think everybody wants to, essentially, we want the best for each other, right? I'm not looking for anything else other than the fact to just get a little bit of clarity on what are we doing in this modern world of ours together. So this documentary is about the I'm just telling you what I saw. You guys, I recommend you guys check it out for yourselves and ask your own questions, make up your own minds, continue to do a little bit of whatever or not, up to you. It's about people potentially dying from the vaccines, that the quote unquote vaccines, I should call it the jab, dude, from COVID-19. Yeah, which was, whoa, dude, alarming. And again, I don't know how much of it is, I don't know what I can be like, this is 100% true. So I don't know if it's like, I'm sure it's definitely got points that are concerning. It's definitely got my attention. But it's not, I don't think it's like, I don't think this should be used or anything for them. Again, it's a good tool to, a documentary is supposed to invoke questioning and curiosity, or get you to maybe look at things a little bit different. And yeah, in my heart of hearts, I'd like us to, I don't believe there are, I don't want to at least believe that there are people out there creating essentially poison for people to put in their body. I don't want to believe that. And I'm not saying that that's the case. What I am saying is that you should probably check this documentary out, and there's also been, there's a bunch of stuff that's been going on. This is the thing, this is not getting too much, at least that's the thing. This is why I'm talking about it, because I'm curious about it. I'd like to know what you guys and gals out there think. I wonder why we're not seeing more coverage of this, and overall into the whole safety and quote unquote efficacy of these jabs, or if you want to call them vaccines, if we can call it. I don't believe they technically are not in at least from what I understand, when you call something a vaccine, it's a one-time shot that you get, and then you're immune to whatever the virus is, and that's pretty much it. So this, I don't know what we've done, but we've done some, I guess, fuckery with either the definition of what the vaccine used to be. So that's what I'm saying right here. And man, yeah, there is literally, that's what it is, man. Basically the gist of it, I'll give you the gist of it as much as I can. And these are some of the things that are topics that we may have talked about here, or you may have talked amongst yourselves, with your friends, with your family members, or even maybe just to pondering a thought to yourself. Maybe you're like, man, these medicines, these experimental drugs were really rushed. Where do we get the data that they are actually safe and effective? Because don't you need long-term studies for that? And you're absolutely 100% right. We do need long-term studies on medicine or anything really, in terms of when it comes to human consumption, whether it's food, beverages, or medicine. It needs to be tested, and it needs to be tested against time as well in different populations. And this was rushed. This was, I guess, due to the urgency, but that's, that shouldn't. Yeah, I don't even know, dude, because we've had discussions like this before, and it's still very unclear as to really, like, I think from my understanding, I would say that this was a virus created in a lab, and I don't know if it got leaked by accident or on purpose. I don't know, but it is, from my understanding, what makes sense the most common sense narrative is that this was a result of gain of function. And gain of function is essentially when you take a virus, manipulate it, and make it stronger. And, the proponents of the scientific community who back that approach say that we've always been doing this, and perhaps that is true. Again, I'm not a scientist or anything, but these are the dangers of, I guess, messing around with viruses. When you go out there and give them whatever it is, maybe you're putting them on, I don't know what it is. Maybe the viruses are like, taking a little, like, the viruses are like regular viruses prior to gain of function, and then I'm assuming gain of function is like when you put the viruses on steroids and you tell them like work out 2 to 3 times a day. So, prior viruses might have been affected by, they were just like, loitering, soliciting, smoking, chilling, hanging out with the crew. Modern day viruses are taking roids, are benching, are running miles, are adapting to, to fight off medicine, so that when you're like, oh, I see your antibiotics, and I'm just gonna like toss this whole dumbbell and chuck a barbell at this antibiotics, fam, and that's how you get like super AIDS, which is not like cool AIDS, it's just stronger AIDS essentially. It's not like, oh, I've got super AIDS. Like, you shouldn't be happy about that. But again, everything is perspective. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life by any stretch of the imagination. But what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, so that's my understanding of it. That's what I understand from everything that I've been able to grab and grasp over the past little while. And then in reaction to those viruses that were manipulated and got stronger, we had to come up with, I guess, vaccines or medicine to fight the good fight. So we basically shot ourselves in the dick on purpose, and we're like, well, now we gotta like fix this shot pee-pee, because that's what it is. But you're like, and the rationale behind it is like any day you could get shot in the peen and you should be prepared. And you're like, yeah, but walking around, it's probable, it's out there in the realm of possibilities, of all possibilities, amongst all the spectrums and parallel universes. Sure, I can get shot in the dick, and you're like, yeah, this way you nip it in the butt, you shoot yourself in the dick, dude, and that way it's like, and then you got to fix it. So that's what we did. That's what we did. We're like, oh, this is unnecessary, but let's do it anyway, because there's a lot of money to be made. So that's my understanding of it. And then I don't even know where I was going with this, but essentially, yeah. So we all had a lot of questions as to the origin of this virus and the potential forced and mandated guidelines that basically force people to take experimental drugs. And I think a lot of people had issues with that. Businesses got shut down, our whole mobility halted, everybody lost so much, whether we're talking familial ties, jobs, money, career trajectories got skewed, this, that, and so many things. And hopefully, and people lost their lives, whether directly or indirectly. A lot of people due to the severe lockdowns and extreme measures taken by most governments around the world. Canada was not excluded from this. A lot of people, suicides went up. A lot of people were not able to get access to their communities and each other. And unfortunately, a lot of people died as an indirect result of that. So those are all things that, we all had to live with, swallow, and try to make sense of as it's happening in real time. And nobody's got the answers, and you're constantly being bombarded with fear from the classic, I guess, legacy media outlets out there. The major news corporations were constantly pumping the airwaves with fear mongering and get the vax, get the jab, double jab it, triple jab it, get it in your face, get it in your mouth, get it in your ass, wear a mask, wear 2 masks, 3 masks, and if you do these things, that you will protect not only yourself but other people. And all of it has now been proven to be, if you pay attention, it doesn't seem to be working, at least all that well. At least not to the degree that they came out and said it would, right? And yeah, if you get the shot, you can still get the COVID sickness, illness, whatever, the virus, you can still get it. You can still pass it on. Wearing masks doesn't seem to work. So this is an airborne virus, and it's been loose out there, and it's for me, I've been over it, and a lot of people are as well. I think it's just become a part of our lives now. Hopefully we don't do anything else extra in the future to create similar situations and events, and hopefully this is a learning lesson really for all of us. But certain questions do still remain, especially after the fact that not only were we, a portion of the population were forced to take medication that they didn't feel comfortable with. They felt like they're being pressured, coerced, and a lot of people had to do it because of their jobs. One of the, the military people, the military folks out there, a lot of people, apparently, there's been reports of a lot of people having, these heart attacks, these sudden deaths in the military, and a correlation may be drawn because between the fact that they were all forced to get these jabs, because it's one of those things that you're in the military. There's no, everybody does it. There is no if, and, or but. So a lot of people have been apparently, allegedly, dying mysteriously. People of young age too, not just like, and these are people who work out, people who are healthy. These are not people, for the most part, these are not people with comorbidities. So I don't know. I think I think we should do a little bit more questioning in terms of, there's, in the documentary, there was depictions of, there's a whole bunch of things that apparently it may cause. Stillbirths have apparently gone up. Heart attacks have apparently gone up between the ages of 18 to 49. What else? Stillbirths, heart attacks. Rate of cancer growth has been, I guess, increasing. And this has been, again, noticed in populations who've got the vaccine. And the biggest thing that was depicted in the documentary, which was gross, was that, man, so when anybody passes away, you have to go to, I guess, they take your body to a embalmer so that they can, clean you up, cut you up, whatever it is that you got to do with, and that's, and those guys have a tough job to begin with. Those ladies have a tough job to begin with, because those guys are like right there at the front and center of dealing with the post-mortem, dude. That's like, that's, a lot of times that takes a special individual to do that. So I love those people, because that's something that, that's a service that everybody needs, but not a lot of people can handle it or do it. And so, like, to care for somebody in their, most vulnerable stage of life, which is, I guess 2 stages of life, birth and death, really, you're basically left in other people's hands. So it's, I really respect these people. So they're out there in the front lines dealing with dead bodies, essentially, and they started to notice something. I guess in the embalming process, there is a process where you rinse the body and get rid of all the blood, and you run different chemicals, I'm assuming, through the body and the veins and arteries to just clear up the blood, and there's solutions that you got to run through, and this is from my understanding. Again, I'm not an expert, just retelling you what I saw. And normally prior to people taking the vaccine, funeral directors, embalmers have noticed that people would just, bleed out normally, no big deal. And after the vaccine, they started to notice when they were trying to embalm the individuals, the fluid was not coming out, the blood was not coming out, and something seemed to be clogging it. So they had to cut individuals open, do a little bit of surgery right then and there, and they found that their veins and arteries were clogged by clots, but not specifically blood clots. This is what it's some sort of a fiber that they found in human bodies. Yeah, weird, bonkers. It's like, when I heard about it, I'm like, this sounds like a sci-fi movie, but apparently it's happening, and I don't know that's the thing. So when they're doing the autopsies, when they're cutting people open to find out, I guess, where the blockage is, they're finding these fiber clots in people's arteries and veins that kind of, I guess, clot with the blood as well, and basically they block your arteries and veins, so you can't, pump blood properly through your body. And next thing you know, you're out there just clenching the old chest, doing a couple of twists and turns, and then, doing a straight up plank, and not intentionally either. And you're like, man, that is wild. That's what I saw. And yeah, it just makes me concerned. I don't have, I don't want this to, whatever. Here's the thing. I want, like everybody else, I think most of us want each other to be healthy and okay. I think that's the big thing. I think definitely there should be more investigations, more studies on this, and I think this should be probably reviewed more, at least in the mainstream media as well, or I don't want to call it mainstream media, because the new mainstream is on the rise, baby. You and I, we're part of it, doing it together, chit-chatting together. So the legacy media or the traditional media, I would like to see a little bit more coverage of these stories as well, because obviously with your means and access to information, you can do a whole lot more digging. I definitely want to see more digging, if we can, and for the simple matter of learning from the process. And hopefully if there is anything wrong with the medicine, we can fix it so that there is that's not happening. They refer to it as like if you go, it's disgusting. The whole thing is just gross. It's weird, but I do recommend you to check it out. And yeah, I don't know what to make of it in terms of it. Is it a here's the thing with anything really, the narrative pushed from, again, the legacy media, the governments, the politicians, the corporations, the pharmaceutical companies has been that, yeah, this is a safe, effective medication that you could use, and with no deaths, with 0 deaths, with relatively very little negative impact. And then you have people collapsing and healthy individuals collapsing, people having heart attacks, an uptick in cancer rates, an uptick in, again, heart attacks, stillbirths, and many other ailments were listed in the documentary. And so I would say probably we do, again, need a lot of more investigation, a lot of more research. The truth probably, I would say, lies somewhere in between, I just hope we can together collectively pull and make better decisions so that we're not, harming ourselves, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And and that's me trying to look at everything and staying as optimistic and being as, charitable with my point of view, because I don't believe the pharmaceutical companies should be trusted. Excuse me. I don't believe that people should give their trust, 100% to any governmental body, because as soon as you do that, you stop thinking for yourself. You start giving over control of your lives to somebody else who pretends they know better than you. And it's, and it's done for different reasons. Sometimes under the umbrella or guise of religion. Sometimes it's done under the guise of science and progress and common sense. Actually, not common sense. Common sense is not brought up into that equation. More so science, mathematics, and which is funny because the scientific method is questioning. That's if they were actually being honest with it, they'd do a little bit more research and be a little bit upfront with it. And I hope this, again, this is not to say that it's black or white. I believe it's murky. I believe it's a complex situation. I believe there's millions, if not probably billions. I'm going to say billions of dollars at play with so many different, again, corporations, whether it be pharmaceutical companies, whether it be giant media corporations, governmental bodies, private entities that facilitate the little things, this, that, and the other. So many people have been able to make a good chunk of money during this whole global event that we've had. So it's definitely worth questioning. And I don't have the answers. It just made me concerned and grossed out because, man, if you're not, this is what I wanted to do for some of you guys. If you're out there a little bit squeamish, if you're out there with a little bit of, you're like, oh, I don't want to, because there's definitely images that are not easy to witness. And again, that's the thing with anything I view it, whether it's documentary or a news article or a movie, question it from all aspects, never go in and be like, well, this is a clear, it's good to ask questions is what I'm saying. But yeah, some of the images were, man. So what I'll do for you, if you're squeamish and if you're not going to check it out, I'll give you an example of what you might see. So it's not as bad, but might help you in kind of imagining what went down a couple of times, or many a times, more than a couple of times. And yeah, hold on, let me get a sip of this. Things are about to get graphic, boys and girls, ladies and gents. So at a lot of times, there's like, I want to just get in the zone, baby. And like, let's pretend I've not taken any of the vaccines. I have family members who have, so I don't want this to be harming people. I don't think any of us do. I just, whatever. I'd like us to find out if it is, how do we stop it, and how do we make it, oh God, there's just so many things, you know, and it's like questions of bodily autonomy, questions of, again, are we dealing with potential bioweapons? Is it even, because if you talk about it this way, it's easy to just be like, no, it's not a bioweapon, but then what is, if, you know, what is a bioweapon? If you can define it, please. Potentially, what was I trying to say? I don't even know what I was trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of things, and yeah, at the end of the day, somebody, if we do find out people are getting hurt from this, and like, somebody, to some degree, shouldn't somebody be held accountable in terms of like pharmaceutical companies? I think the discussions that this hopefully leads to, and I hope more people ask for this and promote this kind of thing, I think pharmaceutical companies should not be able to just, you know, walk off without any sort of repercussions. The fact that I believe to a good extent they're protected by the law, so that they're not held accountable for any potential damages caused by any sort of medication that they create. I think there definitely needs to be a re-examination of the laws there. Again, I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination, but if I put on a goddamn suit, bro, and I slick my hair back, I could pretend for a good few minutes. You know, your honors, my cases, be so rested, they're chill. Gavel, gavel time, you feel me, fam? So potentially, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, you know, people who like went in there without having all the data, and they're like, it's 100% safe and effective, you know, pushing it, forcing people. Shouldn't somebody be, you know, just questions, just tossing it out there for the gang, for the syndicate to think about. And yeah, so I'll give you a little depiction of images that you might not be so comfortable viewing for yourself in the documentary, and I'll act out a few scenes, short and sweet, nothing schmans, dude. So I'm just like I'm just like a regular dude. Maybe I've taken, you know, 2 shots and I've gotten my booster as well. Maybe but I'm just like, whatever. I'm just like a regular dude chilling, doing my thing, just observing the outside world and the beauties it has to offer. I'm gonna take a sip of this bad boy. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, what is going on? Oh my God. You might see something along those lines. A lot of that. Like they're possessed by demons. And you're like, Jesus Cristo, bring an exorcist. Let's get this boy strapped down and sprinkle a little bit of that holy water or something, dude. But that's it. You see a lot of, you know, a lot of the fucking this, a lot of that. If I had more room, I'd do, like, man, I don't want to blame the room, dude, but like, it was, you know what it is, fam? They do it a few of them did twists and turns, and then they just plummet, dude. And it's sad. And it's concerning. And yeah. So how do we find out? More people are gonna, you know, have to do autopsies, I'm thinking, to find out. Because I think normally you don't do autopsies on people. I think you just like do the basic little cleanse, you flush it out, it's all good. Yeah, so they found weird stuff in the blood, worth checking out. I don't know, just saying. And if it's not a big concern, if you guys do like a thorough evaluation of the whole thing, no monkey business, and you're like, you know what, this was caused by such and such, it's not from this and that, all right, okay. I don't want people to be dying, essentially. I'm not out here be like, haha. I'm not gonna get happy. That's what it is. This is not gonna bring me joy. If this is factual, this is not gonna bring me joy, because me, like many of you guys out there, although I've not gotten the shot, you know what I'm talking about, but I do have family members who have. And you out there, you might be watching this and you're like, oh no, should I be concerned? My heart goes out. I hope nothing happens. Obviously, I hope so. Again, all of us, either are a person who got the shot, or people who have. So I'm not gonna be, so people should look into this. Someone with more money and more, because unless you let me loose, dude, unless you let Detective Rob Sadri get in there, dude, I come in there with my overcoat, fam. I got 2 overcoats, dude. I can one's like wool, the other one's like water resistant. So if it's like a rainy day and it's cloudy, like a day like today, I can smoke on a pipe and rest some cases. Case closed. No. Case opened. Case dismissed. No. Case needs to remain until everything's examined, and then we'll figure it out whether you need to dismiss it or not. You've not been dismissed. You sit down. Sit your case down. Man, I'd fucking kill it in the fake law world. Oh, I'd kill it in the fake law. Like, the real law's too, it's too slow. It's like baseball. If it could be, more fucking, yeah. But then that law should be slow, actually. It should be like baseball. I'm glad that it's like baseball. But maybe a little bit more, whatever. Make it better, essentially. All day, every day. All day, every day. Good Lord. Boys and girls. So many things are going on, man. So many things are going on around the world. But let's switch gears. Last week, some interesting, it's the holidays. Something interesting happened and just reminded me that it's the holidays. Well, what season are we in? It's the holiday season, baby. It's Christmas, right around the corner. And let's say you're out there and you got a pervert family member. I'm not talking about maybe a aunt or an uncle who makes a raunchy joke at the Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner table. I'm talking about like a legit pervert. Let's say you have a family member who's a legit child molester, fam. Okay? And you're like, man, this guy's in prison doing time. And you're like, I should probably, whatever. They're family. I should give them a gift, but I don't know what to get this piece of shit. Disgusting. Not even human. I should give him something, right? This sick fuck, I should give him something. What can I get this sick fuck that I've never seen in my life? Happens to be a child molester. Balenciaga is now become the official brand for child predators and pedophiles, I think, pretty much. Like, they've not come out and said we're repping child molesters and pedophiles, but actions sometimes speak louder than words, fam. So what they did, I saw that, I was like, man, this has got to be you're yoking out here, man. This has got to be a yoke, dude. But apparently not. Apparently it's reals. I was hoping it'd be fugazi, but it's not. They were probably running some sort of pitch meeting, and they're like, yeah, how do we that Balenciaga, how do we sell more kids' clothings? And they went around the table. Nance came in, she's like, make an ad with kids, dress them up in relatively decent colored clothings, and that should do the trick. And Jim's probably the boss, the manager or whatever, and like, all right, good point, Nancy, we'll sell more. Steven, why don't you go out and any ideas, Steven? Steven's like, well, bright colors seem to work. What if we give them toys to play with in this photo shoot? So they're having fun, bright colors, playing with toys. That'll sell some clothes. And that's when Jim lost it. He's like, man, he threw his pen. He threw his fancy $257 pen on the desk, and it just exploded all over the desk. It's disgusting, ink all over the place. But he wanted to make a statement. He's like, so he's Jim. He's like, Steven, I don't think you got your faculties intact. I don't think you've got what it takes anymore to be a part of this crew. I don't even think what are you even doing here, Steven? What are we trying to do here? He's like, oh, I thought we were just selling clothes to children. He's like, God damn it, Steven, you've lost all your passion and your desire to whatevs. Maybe take 5, maybe take 10, and then come back and just come in with a better idea. Kids playing with regular toys and decent color attire. Ha! What is this? And some along those lines went down. Eventually, they went around, and somebody's like, they were just like probably like, you know, 3:30 in the a.m. No one's going home. We're all ordering Chinese takeout to come up with better ways to get you know, really sell. And then among, you know, they were tired, bags under their eyes under their bags, and somebody's like, what if we dressed the teddy bears that the kids are playing with and BDSM and bondage gear and outfits and like sexualize their toys. How about that? And then Jim's like, Eureka, yes, let's sexualize their toys. And then Nance was like a little bit still like with it. So she's like, shouldn't we not sexualize the children? And Nance was immediately fired on the spot for having the audacity to come in there with her common sense and be like, yeah, because what are we doing here? Selling product, branding, marketing, PR, getting people to talk about the brand and making sure that they're familiar with the brand and they know what it's associated with. So to make it clear, Balenciaga wants to sexualize kids, essentially being probably the first out and about, like, you know, they're like, you know, they're the poster fashion brand of pedophiles and child molesters. So if it's that holiday season and you're feeling charitable to everybody, you know, everyone, and yeah, you got that weird uncle in the fucking can doing 50 plus years, and you're like, how do I make sure that I'm giving something, but also I don't want to feel too good about it? A nice Balenciaga shirt to put him, like, you know, and that'll. They probably have a section in the prison system, I'm assuming, like they know where the fucking diddlers are, so they get beats on a regular. But if you want to make sure he's getting extra beats, fucking deck him out in Balenciaga head to toe. I'm just saying. You know, and so if you don't like somebody, if you don't like somebody, gift them a Balenciaga outfit, and that just, you know, for the next couple of years, at least in my head, it's going to be a connotation of Balenciaga, child pedophiles, child molesters. It's just what you guys did. So it's not, you guys did it to yourselves. I don't know what you guys are doing out there, but you guys did it. And yeah, it takes some time. I'm not saying this is going to be the downfall of the company. You know, many of people and companies have done far worse things and still, you know, it's fucking Prescott Bush, dude, did business with Hitler, supported Nazis, and his son and grandson ended up being the U.S. president at one point. So it's like, you know, I'm not saying Balenciaga is going to go and be the next president of the United States, but, you know, at least for the next 2 years, I will associate you with pedophiles and child molesters. Down the line, I don't know what will happen in 50 years, 100 years, who knows? You guys might be like the only clothing corporation out there. I don't know. Or you might just like, you know, or you might get, you know, or you might only be, you know, or it might not work out so well. Maybe maybe nobody would buy your shit. I don't know. Or maybe, again, maybe people will only buy it only if they were to gift it to a pedophile or a child molester or a diddler. So yeah, if you know somebody in the neighborhood and they're like a registered sex offender, and you're like, man, I don't know how do I make this fella or lady, like, you know, so that people know. And Balenciaga, dude, put up like, if you know, if you see Balenciaga, fucking, you know for sure, dude, into activities that they shouldn't be into, at least for the next several years anyway. So yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but that's something that they did. Weird. But that's, you know, that's an anomaly, dude. This kind of thing never happens in the fashion industry. We know how the fashion industry is. It's wholesome. It's all about family. It's about preserving and maintaining innocence and youth. It's not about sexualizing children from a young age. The fashion industry? No way. So I'm shocked. I, for one, am shocked. Wog 1, fam. Wog 1, Wog 2, and Wog 3. What's going on, baby boys and girls? What else has been going on in and around this beautiful planet, aka the blue floating marble? Kim's taken out his daughter. Talking about the Kim in North Korea. That was interesting over the weekend. Kim was decked out in all leather, like an old school Bond villain. Decked out in leather, and he was out and about walking in North Korea, and he took his daughter out, one of his daughters, out to parade, show her to the crowd, show the crowd to the daughter and the world, and also whilst doing all that, also like show a little bit of the military equipment, the rockets, the missiles, and it's basically like it's basically like take your kid to work day. So he took his kid to work day. All right, most of us, if we have kids, well, it's not you'll take your kid to work day, but it's low key not a big deal. But Kim took one of his kids, and it got me interested into knowing how many kids does Kim have. Apparently 3 on record, but technically we've only seen apparently 1. This is all, it's interesting to me because of just like, yeah, North Korea is fucking interesting. It's a pariah state. It's a state that is just like, it's out there, man. Who are we kidding? So it's a weird state. It's a weird country. Beautiful people. Weird government. That's what I mean. Weird government. Let's not be like, oh, what are you saying? Weird government. That's what it is what it is. So yeah, he took out his daughter, and apparently he's got another daughter and a son, and there were questions as to why did he take the daughter out to parade in front of the military, missiles, the world, whatevs. It could just be, I think it's just like PR, dude. I think it's just PR. It's not even like whatever. It is what it is. It's just like PR, just to make him look a little bit, probably like a little bit more like he's a family guy at the end of the day. At the end, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's a family guy. He's a big time family guy. And you see a daughter, and that's the thing. You can't bring his son. Because if you bring like a 13-year-old son with a faint little mustache and that kind of energy, that is probably, that kid's probably going to be too much. You bring a daughter, they're like, oh, that's a dad and his daughter, dude. Totally normals. Normals for days. The most normal, you would say. So that's what it is. You can't bring out, you know what I'm talking about. Those like 13-year-olds with the fucking little whiskers. You know what, like you can't, and especially your dad being Kim. That kid's about to like fucking, go ude or kusei on a lot of North Korean individuals, which is not a good thing to go. You don't want to go ude and kusei on anybody, anywhere. But if you happen to go ude and kusei, what would be a great gift for you? Fucking Balenciaga t-shirts or, attire in general. Because I think they did a lot of foul, nasty shit. I'm just saying, allegedly. Out there. Weird. But, man. Point is that he took out his daughter, and speculations have been just like little murmurs. And what did he take her out there for? Is it signaling or potentially laying the foundations of a heir to a throne later down the line, wherever the line may be? Where's the line, dude? Draw a line, hold the line, sniff the line. You can do a lot with lines, and it starts with 2 dots. Connecting dots, so you get a line, and that's what that is, man. But at the end of the day, it's like that's what it is. It buys you a little bit of sympathy because you look at it. It's kind of like no different than seeing Tony Soprano spending time with the kids, right? Because out there, he's hustling, he's grinding, he's cracking, he's pistol whipping you in the back of the neck. He is running you over with his Cadillac. He is swerving on motherfuckers. And you're like, this guy's a monster, but then chilling with the fan, you're like, man, I fucking love this monster, dude. This guy's just like me. So that's but that's a fictional character, and the other ones for realsies. Not to say there, but no, I don't know what I'm saying, but that's just I think they've done it from their perspective to like humanize him a little bit and be like, yeah, look, daddy taking it. What's the big deal, guys? I'm just like with my daughter, showing her what I do for her. Daddy makes huge missiles, nuclear weapons potentially that can blow up the earth. That's what daddy does. This could all be yours, baby. Fuck, dude. Cray. Man, if I were Kim's son or daughter, dude, I could be Kim's son or daughter. I am Kim. If you're watching this, Daddy, I missed you so much. Send your son a few checks. Or give it to somebody else that'll send me. I don't want the direct link between us. Although you're my dad. You're not my dad, but you could be. You can't be. But let's say I can get into character. You could totally be my dad, dude. We could do a father-son show around the world. I mean, there's gonna be a whole lot of, I don't know how we're gonna clear your name. You know what? I'm gonna let you do you. I'm gonna do me. But like, if I wanted to, I'm saying, if I wanted to play your son, if I wanted to play your daughter right now, dude, look at me. Oh, Papa Kim. Oh, I love Papa Kim. See how fucking solid that was, dude? Oh, you're like, oh, I'm looking at my daughter right in the face. Fucking got you, dude. I'm not your daughter. Relax. I'm not your son either. Papa, wanna play some catch? Catch a grenade, Papa? But throw a little and you don't have any time for me. Oh, go play catch the grenade by yourself, son, is what you'll say. Oh man, brings back memories. Good times. Good times. I could get in there if I wanted to, dude. You know, I'll put in a little fucking. I'll just give me like 6 to 8 months. So I'll grow my hair out. And by that time, like your daughter's probably going to be a little bit older. So like we would have caught up in terms of hopefully she's taller. Hopefully she's like legit like 6 feet tall. Or I'll stand back, dude. If height's an issue, if you think like I'll stand back out of respect for Papa, and I'll get in there, and I'll have I haven't thought it all out, but I could do it if I wanted to. I'm not gonna. Wait, you know. But if I wanted to. And that's the thing too, that at the end of the day, it's weird because like he might probably be to a lot of people not a good dude, probably a monster to a lot of people, but like probably to a few individuals, and probably I'm assuming to his kids he's probably sweet. You would assume, unless he's a complete dickhead to his kids too, and you don't know. I mean, the way dictators' kids turn out, he's probably, fuck, dude, it's weird, dude, it's weird. So Kim, if you're, and you are out there doing things, looking at things from a positive perspective, I'm not gonna just come in there and just be. I do like the leather jackets. It's got a vibe. Not my thing, but like the full like military. Like I do like it's nice. It suits. Like you got a haircut with you got a look. You're a look. You're a character. You're a unique cat. And those are probably the only most positive things that I can come up with. I don't know you that well, but from like what I've seen from afar, man, a lot of people are suffering because of you, pal. I'm just saying, dude. But you keep on building those rockets. Don't build the rockets. Why do you need so many rockets? He's so fascinated with nuclear power. He said he wants to be the most nuclear power person ever. He wants to be nuclear man. So it's a thing, it's out there, and it exists, but it's fascinating. But those are just, little events here, little events there, and it's just you and I having a little chit chat every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and rocking and rolling, and just having a good time. Just being silly, asking a couple of questions every once in a while if we can, and then trying to come up with answers. And down the line, I think, I hope, and we're learning and growing, baby boys, baby girls. Where can you find these videos? Follow me on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, check out patreon.com/RobSadger if you'd like to fiscally support the show. We are here every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. We do not stop. We continue to evolve. We continue to grow. And we just have fun. And there's so many more things waiting in the horizon for us. We're approaching, again, it was Thanksgiving weekend in the Americas. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend with your loved ones, with your family members, with your friends. It's kind of a second reminder because our Thanksgiving is a little bit earlier, but it is a nice reminder just to be like thankful, grateful, and I'm grateful to be a part of this human family that we're all a part of. 8 billion strong and a couple of knuckleheads in the mix. You know what I'm talking about? Well, we're getting better. We're trying new things. We are evolving day by day, year by year, decade by decade, century by century. And again, I will be back here on Wednesday. In the meantime, have some fun. Don't drink your own piss unless you're in space. Peace out.